So welcome back to the show. Before the break, we're having a conversation with Marcy as to how exactly surviving through the COVID pandemic. And Marcy had mentioned to me there are some innovations that have come out of this season. Take me through what's new.
Yeah, and it's so I want to say, like, during these tough times, stars have been born. Because my team, I can see people who come up like strongly, people who are at the workshop more than they would be normally, and people thinking about ideas. Like, for example, this idea came up. This is the phone holder. And so you put your phone or your tablet there, and it has this beautiful piece of leather there. And so I thought, oh, this is an amazing idea to come during now, since people are doing Zoom meetings.
Yeah, lots of Zoom calls.
Yeah, all these Zoom calls and Zoom interviews. Even right now, my phone is on my Nuki.
Yeah.
It's enabling conversation. So, and I've just seen the innovation that has been there globally. Even the fact that people have moved on to TikTok to do this amazing, cool, fun videos, just to release stress. Me being one of them, by the way.
Also on TikTok. Let me not judge. But I'm not gonna judge you, but it's okay. We're in a period whereby you've seen a lot of people lose their jobs, primarily because of the economic situation that you're in. And at one particular point, you happen to be one of them. And that was the reason why you get to business. Take it through the period whereby you're told that, yeah, Marcy, you fired.
Yeah. I mean, I know what that feels like. I know what that means. That means you're losing a sense of security, and money does, and your stability, it does make you stable, and so just losing that was so terrifying. And I remember going home, and I was lucky enough to have a partner at home at the time. And just trying to encourage me one hand, that I don't feel anything. I knew I was in trouble. I knew and at the time, you develop self-doubt, and there's nothing as horrible as self-doubt, because you start to hate yourself, you start to wonder where you went wrong, you start to doubt your abilities as a professional. That's the horrible part of being fired. But and what, I went through it, and as I usually say, I took 2 months just not going anywhere, not interacting with anybody, not really telling everybody how I got fired or how I lost my job. And initially I wanted to start my business, and at the time, as I told you on Instagram, at the time I was having my business as a side hustle. It was a side hustle. When I went home, it's as though I forgot
everything.
It was. I was heartbroken, and entrepreneurs, they lead with their hearts and they work with their hearts. And when you're heartbroken, you don't even see the vision anymore, And I took a lot of, me self-educating myself and receiving a lot of support from my partner. And I remember going onto YouTube and just reading certain, like hearing people talk about entrepreneurship, and telling people how to actually start, like the one starting your business. Something as simple as set a place in the house where you call your office, where you wake up, you shower, and you go there to think, to strategize. Something as simple as that. Also the fact that you're a salesperson, start calling people, and you might be employed and maybe you don't want to get into entrepreneurship and you've lost your job. But what I want to say is that during COVID, for me, I've had a lot of friends say that they finally gotten the time to do those things that they never had the chance to, because they were very busy during the day. This is the time you get to explore your talents, no matter whatever you think, even if it's gardening. You never know what come out of that. And it's always good to start something, set a momentum. So even if you're looking for jobs and you've applied all day, all morning, don't apply for jobs all day. That will probably obviously ruin your day. Do it in the morning, schedule some time in your little office, and then take the rest of the day to try find things that you're very good at and explore. You never know where that will take you. That might set a momentum for you to actually start something or to get a job off somewhere. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. And you have a very interesting story, I think, when you were having the conversation earlier on, that when you started off your business, you produced quite a number of bags, but you haven't stayed them for almost a year. Take me to that period of time, as in you produced something with a lot of expectation, once you go to the market and then no one wants to buy it. How exactly was it for you, and how exactly do you bounce back after that?
I had told you how I had gotten a deal. The way in Kenya deals are known. Where I was working, I got a deal.
A land of brokers.
Yes. So we shared it amongst colleagues or friends or that group. And I remember my share, I was saying, finally I have capital to actually do this. and it was 200,000 shillings. And I remember how everyone else is going out to a party. Guys want to finally go for a vacation into Mombasa, but me, I'm like, my 200K, I'm starting this business. So immediately I went into production. I went to Thika. There's a friend of mine, who's still a friend of mine, who produces bags in Thika. I went and told him I want this range of 23 bags, and got these pictures from Pinterest, and there were all these leather and all these colors, and I produced them. And when they were done, I was like, wow. I put them to market, and I remember I went to one of the shops that was in Village, and I put it was called Kyallo, I think, and I gave them my bags. They accepted, and so I was to wait for sales. And I remember the day I delivered those bags, Ian,
yes,
I sold one bag. Like somebody as we were putting them in the shelves, and they were like, oh, this bag is beautiful, I'll buy it. They bought it. So when I went home, I knew like I was gonna be rich soon. You know, I was gonna be
you're gonna get back your investment.
No.
But little did you know.
I was gonna be the billionaire. And then I went home, and there was no call for 1 year. I tell you, for 12 months there was no call. The next call was, hi Mercy, your goods are not going, come for them. I was so heartbroken. And obviously, they've not called you the whole year. It's about time for you to go for those bags. So when I went to them, I was so heartbroken. I put them in my boots. They stayed in my boot for so long, until I met a friend of mine who was my colleague at the time. We were going for meetings with her, and we were having so much fun. She became my best friend. So she goes into the booth, and she's like, what are all these bags? What are they for? And then I tell her, it's a big story. I don't even want to talk about it. It's like a wound.
But how did you bounce back? At what point, what are some of the lessons you learned from that experience in terms of not selling your bags in a shop for 1 year? And what are some of the lessons you learned from it, and how did you bounce back and started making Kyallo Leather a fledged business?
Linda and I, this was Linda Mweni. So Linda and I took the bags, and she told me, like, let's try sell it to my uncle. He can buy, let's sell it to this one. So we took to the office and we started selling them. And so people started giving me their feedback, telling me, what if you do this? What if you do that? And so I started to discover who my market was. So one of the lessons I learned primarily in the beginning was, first of all, know who you're going to talk to, know what they need, and provide them with what you're giving them. That's the first thing. Be customer centric. The first time I put up those 23 bags, they were my designs, they were my things I would have loved to have, but then that's not what the customer wanted. So that was one of the lessons. And how I was able to bounce back was to sell whatever I had and to present it to people, and just say, look, what would you take this? They say no, which is something in business we call proof of concept. Just making one person who can buy your product, that's a proof of concept. But if you put them in a boot and have that wood stay there, I will literally not be here if those bags were in the boots.
True.
You understand?
True. Yeah, and there are a couple of questions, because I know we've been engaging a lot on social media, and once people saw that you're coming through, they sent me some questions to ask you. Alice asks, where do you source your leather from?
Yes, I source all my leather locally. There's leather in Sagana tanneries, there's leather in Leather Industries of Kenya in Thika, there's leather in Syokimau. That side is a company called Alfarama. I source my leather locally, and if you just do your research, you can find places to source your leather. Another
question from Leonard through Instagram is asking, how do you go about your pricing?
Yes, which was a big issue. People normally say things that are made in Kenya are very expensive, but one of the solutions I wanted to bring in the market was have very high quality goods that are affordable to my market. So how I go about my pricing, I look at the time that I've spent making the product. I look at the team that has handled it. I look at the amount of material that we've used, and I look at the amount of money I'm using on marketing, and all that forms the pricing.
All right.
I hope I'm.
Marcia, I wish we could go on in this conversation, because I have a lot of questions personally and also from the audience through Instagram. But that's just a whole time.
How much are you willing to pay?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can go on, but time has literally run out. But I appreciate Marcia for getting time to speak to us. I think now we can rush home before the curfew.
I know, right? Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure
to talk to entrepreneurs. Wherever you are, never give up. Don't give up. Wake up every day and do it again.
Awesome. On that particular note, you're going to end the show. But remember, on Tuesday, you can join in on Business Coach Instagram Live on Instagram at KTN Home from 9 p.m. And also Monday to Thursday, let your mornings just not be boring. Let it be full of inspiration. You can be watching the Business Coach reruns from 7 a.m. to 7:30. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been the Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their businesses.